Construction is one of the final industries to bring robotics and automation into the mix. Will robots dehumanize construction? Will they replace people? How can they best be utilized to benefit our industry? Off-site modular construction is a good proving ground to answer the tough questions and measure the results. One modular team has discovered that success isn't based on machines or computer codes. Instead, the real secret sauce is found in the human spirit and a people-first culture. Two industry visionaries, Rick Murdock, CEO and co-founder of Autovol, and Merrick Macomber, CEO and founder of Modular Maven, have mixed automation with decades of modular experience into one of North America's most productive and inclusive modular companies. Learn how people served by robots can be empowered to leave the world's chaos behind, create meaning and enjoyment at work, build fantastic careers, and leave work each day with heartfelt purpose and joy. Please welcome Rick and Merrick.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here. And wow, you know these are easy to give. There's only two people in the room. Right? So thank you for showing up. I really appreciate that. A little bit about me. I've been in this industry, off-site manufacturing, since 1976. Right? No. When she said decades, she meant decades. Right? And I can tell you there's a magnificent difference between 1976 and our industry and today. Right? And one of the things I enjoy the most is that in 1976, I started on the floor just like a normal person in manufacturing. And so what I talk about, I'm not talking about what I see and hear, I'm talking about what I experienced. Right? And it leads up to the reasons why I did the things I do. So on top of that, I'm a father of 4 wonderful daughters. Right? And we argue who raised who. Whether they raised me or I raised them, right? And I'm still hanging true that I did it, and I did a fair job because they're always anxious to give me a hug. I've got 5 grandchildren, and those are the most important things in my life. This is the next. So when you look at the humanity of robots in construction, just based on who I am as a person, I would never dream of trying to replace people with robots. And I get asked that question quite a bit, by the way. What about those people? Well, there's several things, right? When we decided that we did this, my partner and I, we had started another company, and it was really to bring everybody in and help them understand modular. And that was the developer world, that was the GC world, because we needed them to understand, because we needed business. And without them understanding, it's hard to get business. So we started that company, and we kicked that off, bootstrapped that, and that started becoming very successful because it was needed, right? It was also a company that hadn't been done before, right? And we like to do new things. We like to set the trends for what the future is going to bring, because I believe in the future. So when this says up here, breaking new ground, I would tell you that it's breaking brand new ground that I had never touched before. I've been in the industry forever, but it broke new grounds not just in manufacturing, it was also in the way that we were going to treat our people and the culture we were going to set for our company. Because in my humble opinion, no matter what business you're in, if you don't have people, you don't have anything. And it's those people that have entrusted in you and followed you that's going to build your company. And so they always deserve the greatest amount of respect. So when we started to break ground, it really came from, I went to an event, I saw automation. Because of all my years when I was a young man, working on the floor and understanding, wow, what did I get myself into, right? That I looked at this automation and said there's got to be a better way to do construction. The same backbreaking labor that I grew up with, and the turnover that causes, and the awareness of the body that causes. And so we want to start something new. Now, I was fortunate, and I was blessed, and still today I can't tell you why, but I was given a clean slate. I came back to my partner and I said, we're going to build an automated plant. And everybody just looked at me. But we're a team. And they said, okay, let's go do it. Right? And so we set out to build the first fully automated plant here in this country. And I can tell you, there wasn't one of us that knew what to expect. There was nobody to call and say, oh my gosh, what do I do next? Right? But the power of people take care of all those things. That's what gave me the confidence to go out there and jump into something so scary for an old guy. right? Is it the people I knew that were out there that I could surround myself with and help me be successful doing it. So we did break new ground. Notice how fast we built this plant. No, what we really did is we went out there and we found 56 acres. We cleared it off. It was a farming area. The farmers had been there for 85 years farming, and we thought, this is perfect. We're going to take a piece of history and we're going to change it into something very modern and up to date. And so we went to work, and it was about 8 months of really trying to do discovery on what we would have to start this plant. What kind of automation would we have to have? How would that automation have to work? How in the world do you get a robot to do what people do and follow all the codes that each and every municipality has to build in? But we set out on it. I started this with 8 people, my partner and 7 others, right? And this was our task, is get the plant up, get it built, get it set, and get it running. And so during that time that we were doing that, we were trying to plan, okay, what kind of company do we want? And because of my past, I knew what I didn't want, right? And so we started developing what we really wanted. So this is what I know of our industry, right? Because in the offsite construction back in the early years, I remember when we were shouting orders over a bullhorn, right, at people. We were sitting over on a bug roost, we would holler at people, telling them to do this, do that, do that. It was, back then it was the norm, but today you think, wow, how crude. But it's the way we were raised, that's the way we did it, right? And so we continued to do that. So we took a construction site that looked a lot like this, and we changed the culture of what we were trying to do. Because in all those years that I was in manufacturing, I can tell you, like our keynote speaker said earlier, I experienced the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? I experienced every one of them. So we had a clean slate, and most people don't get that opportunity. So we were able to clear the land, build our factory, and then set up what we were really about. And so one of the things we wanted was safety and freedom from physical stress. One of the reasons why I was so attracted to robotics is it took the heavy lifting off people and it put it on machines, right? Which conserves the people, which frees the people up so that they can use their minds instead of their backs and their muscles, right? And it was also the highest turnover in our industry is in those back-breaking labor jobs, right? I can remember in the past, it was like a revolving door. You'd wear one out and you'd bring a fresh piece in, right? Wear it out and it'd go out too. And it was something that I knew that wasn't going to be everlasting, and knew something that wasn't going to be consistent with what we were trying to do. I wanted to enjoy a sense of belonging. Out of the companies that I worked for, there was many times when you felt like you were unimportant. You were there to do a job, get the job done, you're going to work yourself to death, and guess what? They had a time clock on you. You had to get something done by a certain amount of time, or they were talking about you, why you were so slow, right? It was those things that I wanted to take away from what we were going to do for the future. A voice and ability to impact operations. I wanted everybody in our company to have a voice. Because just about every issue that I've ever had in a manufacturing plant, management did not answer. The people on the floor that did it every day had the answer because they knew most about it. And those are the people I would go to solve our issues. A more diverse pool of candidates to recruit. And believe me, automation brings a diverse group, right? Because now it wasn't just the trades. Now we had robots, we had computers, we had screens, we had monitors, we had all these different things. And so it was able to bring in a different type of employee, a different type of solutioneer that would come into our plant and work. And what was amazing about that is that was an education that our industry really didn't have because we had no need for that. And it was also an excellent way to attract young people. And my biggest fear in our industry is not mentoring the younger folks to come up and follow in the footsteps and continue our industry. My concern for that is this. I'm a person that's been in it for so long that I really do believe that off-site construction has the ability to become the biggest production that we've ever seen. I think it's going to become mainstream. I think it's going to follow the car industry because the demand is so high. There's so many people that need help, so many people that need homes. And I think this is the only way it's going to be supplied. No, we're not in competition with traditional construction, nor do I want to be. And why is that? We can't do a job without traditional construction involved. So we're not there to replace them. We're there to say, hey, brother, We're here to help you get it done and get it done quicker and less expensively and take part of the load off of you so we can accomplish what our goals are. You always had to have the ability to keep good people. I think that it's not as hard as everybody thinks. I think if you want to keep good people, you treat them like good people. You give them the respect. You give them their head. You let them think. You let them come to you, right? And you help them progress. And so that's the way we set our company up. Timing during the week for personal things. That's why we went to a 4-day work week. I'm not saying that's the best way to go. I'm saying it worked for us. We work 4 10s. They've got 1 day out of the week. If they want a doctor's appointment, they want a day off, maybe it's childcare, they have the freedom to get that done. Right? And so, and I can tell you, in our industry, if you get 3 days off, take it. Yeah, don't let it slide by. Right? And then a clear sense of purpose. And so we did all the things we felt were necessary in order to give people that opportunity. I always had an issue referring to the people that work in a manufacturing plant as laborers, because I always thought it was demeaning, because they're much more than that. I never did like the term employees. Yes, I have people that work for my company, right? But they're more than just employees, and they're certainly not laborers. And workforce, this is my workforce. What does that mean? Right? I don't think it's correct to do that, and so in my humble mind, I thought, okay, we're not going to do that. And I sat down with the group. Here's the power of groups. I said, I don't want to call people laborers. I don't want to call them employees. I don't want to call them workforce, because they're much more than that. They're going to build our company of the future, right? And so I put that out to our group, and someone came back and said, let's call them solutioneers, right? And immediately I said, got it. That works. Right? They're not just laborers, they're solutioneers. And so then we got into what is a solutioneer? So this was fun. And again, it's a team effort. Our CFO, Kyle Gantz, came back to us with this definition he created. This isn't in Webster. Yeah, don't bother looking it up, it's not in Webster. But he created this and then gave the definition to it. A person who's among the first to explore, design, and build innovative ways to solve problems and overcome new challenges and situations. If you've been in manufacturing in our industry, that's exactly what you have to do every single day. Because every day is a challenge. Every day you're going to hit with a rock that you didn't see coming. Right? You have to respond to that. You have to find a solution for that. And you can't do it here. You've got to do it with your mass of solutioneers. You let them know what's going on. You help them create what's going to come to solve the issues. And so we created a coin that we give our solutioneers, coin solutioneers, and that is the reason why they're called solutioneers. So it's not just our group in the plant that's solutioneers. I'm a solutioneer. Merrick's a solutioneer.
Definitely.
My team in this room is a solutioneer, right? Because it's not about what title you hold. It's about all working together to create something brand new, innovative, and to help the matters that are at hand. The next thing we had to do is I can't tell you how many places and companies I worked for that didn't even have a mission. You couldn't find a mission. And I'm a why guy, right? If you know me very well, if you're going to come to me with something, the first thing let's say is, why is that? Why is that? Why is that? Why is that? Because I need to understand why, because if I can understand why, then I can figure out what we need to do about this thing, right? And so this is why we exist. And so I didn't sit down and do this mission. Our team sat down and spent a full day, day and a half trying to figure out what is our mission that we could all agree to, and that was our mission. We build high-quality, affordable housing by empowering a dedicated team of savvy solutioneers with the latest automation technology for off-site volumetric modular. So I gave everybody a purpose. We all had a purpose. That is our mission. That's why we show up every day. That's why we go to work every day, and that's what we're trying to accomplish. Then we said, well, we got to have values. Why do you have to have values? What do you have if you don't have values? You really don't have much, right? So we had to create our values, and it wasn't values that we wrote off of a board somewhere. It was what was important to us. And these are the values we came up with. We wanted game changers. Why do we want game changers? Because we're getting ready to make a big change. It's never been done before in this country, right? And in order to be a part of that, you needed to have that game-changing spirit. We wanted to be family members. Why is that? Family members take care of each other. I'm the middle of 7 siblings. By the way, if you're in the middle, if you're out there, you know what that means, right? Yeah. You wonder where you're at because all the attention is going here, right? But we wanted to create something and build a family because family can figure out things. They can work through issues. They can get mad at each other, and it's okay. They're forgiving, and we all take care of each other every single day. So that's what we wanted to create in our company. Owners. We wanted people that had the savvy to own what they did. Let's own it. Let's not talk about it. Let's own it. And if you make a mistake, stand up and say, oh, I did that. Right? Own what you've done. And if you did something perfect, stand up and say, I did that, and we're all going to say, yes, you did. Right? And I tell people it's okay to make a mistake. There's nothing wrong with that. It's one of the best learning tools in the world is making a mistake. My encouragement was, don't make the same mistake twice. Right? You made it once. You should have learned from it. Let's not do it again. Tomorrow, let's make a different mistake. And that's the way I live. Innovators, why not do that? Because we're innovating something that hadn't been done in this country. And it's scary. When you go to do something like that, you're all excited because you started this new company. You're going to go out there and change the world. And inside, you're scared to death. Will it work? Can we get it to work? There's nobody to call. So we're innovators. And then number 5, we're builders. That's what we do, is we build multifamily, multi-story. Character that fits our family. So I went back and here's what I decided. I said, look guys, I want 3 interviews for every person we bring in our company. And the first response was, what, 3 interviews? And I said, yep, 3 interviews. I'd like for management to interview the people. I'd like the people to interview the people. And I'd like to be the last interview. The next thing was said, well, that won't scale. You can't scale like that. We hadn't got time for that. And my response was, you don't have time not to. If you're going to choose a family, you can't do it in one interview process. Most applicants that you get, don't pay attention to them. You don't know whether they're real or not, right? Where you really find your solutioneers when you sit down and have conversations with them. One's from management, one's from the people, and then one's from myself. And really what we're doing is we're looking at character over pedigree. If you're a genius and you don't have character, I don't need you. I need someone with character. Someone that wants to be part of the family, somebody who wants to learn, and somebody who wants to strive to better their lives and better themselves and build a good career. Revealing questions, some of the questions that came out of that, I can tell you they didn't come from me, but there were some questions, that even I'm sitting there in some of these interviews, the question you asked, and I'd look around like, what is that? It was awesome because it reveals quite a few things that you wouldn't ever know about unless you asked those questions. So we had a lot of fun doing that, and some laughs too, but it really worked. And I'm absolutely no arrogance allowed. If we interviewed with somebody, arrogance, it was the shortest interview we'd have, and they were gone. Because if you're so full of yourself, you can't let anybody else in. And it takes an army. It doesn't take one. And there's not one person that I believe creates something like we did by themselves. Leaders and robots both serve solutioneers. We got a great slide here, and this is my team. And I was so fortunate that when I started this company, these guys here that worked for me for 25 and 30 years joined me to come help me build this company. The guy standing there in the gray head, when I started the company, he's our COO. When I started the company, I decided that, okay, I got to have 2 or 3 gray heads in this company. So what does that mean? That means experience. I need some experience. Whether it's right or wrong, I need some experience. I need some depth. Somebody's been in the industry for a long time. So we settled on 3. Myself, Frank Emmerich, our COO, one of the best I've ever worked with in my entire career. Absolutely marvelous. And my partner, he shaves his head so you don't know he's gray-headed. Right? But he's gray-headed. I've seen it. I've seen it. So there, I had some history, I had some knowledge, I had some depth, and then robots were amazing. But the robots became a tool. That's all they were meant for. They were a tool to take over the heavy lifting, take over the repetitive tasks, speed of productivity, and precision. And that was the purpose on it. I didn't go out and build a robot company. I went out and built a people company that uses robots as their main tool to do business with. And we have the gray hair, we have the history, because I don't believe you can build a future without history. And so we came up with a great group of people that worked very hard to get to where we were at. Automation frees up people to enrich company culture. Not only does it free up the people and take the heavy lifting off people, it brings a new type of person into your company. But it also frees up the mind. It gives them the ability to think about other things towards building our company other than slapping a hammer and doing all those other things. It brings in fresh people to our company. It inspires innovation and learning. And if you're doing something like this, you're trying to inspire innovation and learning because there was a lot of training going on here. It fosters lifetime career advancement. So when people come to Autovol and we're talking about these candidates that might come to work for us, I don't talk to them about a job. I don't even want the guy looking for a job. I'm wanting the person that wants a career. Something that he's going to stick with, something he believes in, and something he can put his heart into. Because in our company of solutioneers, it's all about our hearts. It's all about what we truly believe, what we truly can accomplish. Brings freedom to focus on culture. And that's exactly what it does. But if I go back to this career advancement, I'll brag about our company a little bit. We started with 8 people. Today we're a little over 200. Every advancement in our company has come off our production floor. There's been no one coming in, and so it's important to us to advance within. We innovate as we build every day. We work off iPads that keep all of our drawings, everything there, so we're not running around with a bunch of paper. We've got machines that will help us set windows because the windows are very heavy. We go into our screens so we can actually inspect and do everything that's going on through the automation line to make sure it's accurate. These are the things that we do. This little machine down here might have been the best equipment I ever bought. It was very innovative because it'll pick up a Modular, drive it out the door, and set it down without all the trucks and trailers that have to go with it. So we use that constantly. So what we tried to do is take an old industry and shift it into a smart industry. And that's the way we build. We build with automation all the way through. Our people think automation. They think about progression. They think about mistakes. They own their problems, and they love what they do. So I would tell you the times are changing, right? And they really are changing. In my heart, I would tell you that this automation is going to sweep the world because the world needs it. It's not just our nation, it needs it. This is our family. After all this time, we celebrate our 2000th module. That's what we looked like then. You can tell what we do with our people. We love them every day. We party with them. We teach them. We help raise babies. We do that too because those are little solutioneers, right? We know they're coming to us one day. We can give them solutioneer t-shirts when they're born.
We do.
So we start early in the game, right? And then we always reach out and do happy birthdays to very important people in our lives, and so we take care of them every day. Because people can't hear it once. They need to see it every day. Physically see how much you care. What's it gotten us? It's gotten us 21, 22, 23 top workplaces in the state of Idaho, 3 years running. It was just released last night through USA Today. We won top workplaces in the nation. Thank you. And then on top of that, we got the APR Gold winner for Global Future Design Awards of 2022. And that was for the design we did for our people and our plant to make them feel comfortable and have a great home. Merrick?
I want to talk about the reality of things. The reality is that 53% of Americans are unengaged in their work. 80% on a global scale. Totally not feeling it, right? It's a problem. We've got 40% turnover in manufacturing. We've got an image problem. Nobody wants to work in manufacturing. We're viewed as outdated and uninventive. 2 words that millennials and Gen Z are allergic to. So how do we do this? We need to rectify it. Just like we're trying to remove the stigma that there is with manufactured housing to modular housing, we also need to remove the stigma of working in manufacturing. So now I'll give you a little bit of my background. I've been getting mentored by this man for 11 years. I started off my career at a different manufacturing environment, and I had a front seat to the revolving door. I made friends with literally everybody that I worked with. And not only were they unhappy, not only did I see my friends come and go or never come back again, but I also was unhappy. So I went to my then supervisor, who was our controller, and I said, hey, what if we just tried to make people happy? What if we just celebrated them and appreciated them a little bit more, cared for them a little bit more, got to know them a little bit more? What would that take? I would need some money, of course, but what can I do with that? And if it was all super innocent, if we did these nice things, then the people would stay, and then they wouldn't want to go away. We wouldn't have to spend so much money on training. We might even make more money, and then maybe we could even share it with our people. And it was all super simple. To me, at least, it seemed super simple. So I was granted $30,000. I also self-appointed myself Director of Employee Happiness at that moment, and I started popsicle brigading just on hot summer days. I mean, it was so small and so simple, but that's how we could effectively show that we were caring. Yes, I was in a cool office or a warm office in the wintertime. They were not. And so we just needed to show a little bit more appreciation. In safety, why don't we treat them nice? If they see something that's unsafe and they say something, well, what if we gave them like a $5 gift card to Dutch Bros? I only had $30,000 to work with, and we were doing what we could. So I was fueled by the culture and the human experience. To me, it's important. It's important to be happy. Life is too short to be unhappy, but I understood that the work that we were doing was super important. I really believe in this industry. I'm all in right now, for sure, and I was the day that I started my job there. It was so inventive to me. At the time, we were working on the Yellowstone Lodges. And we were building something that I was just so enthralled with, because I grew up in construction. I grew up with my dad doing really big projects, and I like it. And I love this industry. Fast forward a few years later, I started working for Rick and Curtis again at their company, Prefab Logic, and their #1 mission was to grow and expand the industry. And when I joined them, they said, if you come with us, we'll let you do things your way when it comes to culture. And I thought that was awesome. So I took a leap. I took a pay cut. I took a bootstrap company and just really tried to, I had a lot of hope because I really believed in both of my mentors. And so from there, we started. And how do we do this? We enable others to find purpose and meaning in their lives. Life is not easy. Right? There's that Maya Angelou quote, be kind always because you never know what somebody else is dealing with. Yeah, people deal with life stuff all the time. Everybody in this room probably has something going on that's uncomfortable or they're not liking. And a lot of people just make it through life without any vision or mission or purpose, with nothing to really, there's a zombie in through their lives. And whenever you're able to provide an environment where, one, we're building affordable housing, attainable housing, something that most people need. 90% of Americans need an affordable house. That's a mission, and that's purpose. And that's what we can deliver with the companies that we're with. I'd like to provide a sense of home. So your home is your safe place, but you actually spend more time not at home, you spend more time at your work. And when you get to work and people are disgruntled or negative or bashing you for being 2 minutes late, which in manufacturing you really should be on time. But this is what our solutioneers are saying about Autovol.
You know, every day is different. My potential is seen here. I get to be a part of positive industry change. Due to Autovol's hiring process, we have some of the best and brightest team members. We have the best CEO, and it doesn't matter what your position is, he's always happy to hear your ideas. Making a difference in the world. Dedicated to improving lives of others. I feel heard and appreciated. I feel as I belong. Everyone's opinions are valued and appreciated. These are real statements from real solutioneers that were all anonymous. And I thought it was pretty special. So, being authentic at work. We hired you for your character. We hired you because you're just as weird as me, or just as weird as this guy. We hired you for who you are. But also being authentic at work is for the company to be authentic as well. You can't just throw a barbecue and expect that you've got a great culture. You truly have to care for these people, and one way that we care for our people is that we have this form that I came up with. It's a solutionear intel form, and when you get hired, you can fill it out to your comfort level. I like to see all 30 questions answered, but it gets to know you. I understand, you know, what your family dynamic looks like. How many little kids do you have? How many big kids do you have? Were you an ex-military? What's your favorite ice cream so I can celebrate your birthday? What's your favorite color in case you end up in the hospital, I can give you purple flowers? These are all special touches that we do for our solutioneers because we are authentically caring for humanity. Because that's why I'm here. Somebody let me live, and now I have purpose. And being authentic is part of that. We get to know each other at work and events and beyond. So we are doing stuff all the time. We have a baseball team, we have a volleyball team, the Autovolleyballers, that's what we call them. It was pretty fun. We get together, we do some pretty big parties, right? 2 times a year, some big ones, which is so much fun for me to plan because my budget is unlimited. Just joking. I kid. So we have our annual Solutioneer Shindig, and this is something for all the families to get together. This year, we had 300 plus Solutioneers and their families come. It was a pirate themed party in honor of our Booty Solutioneers, which is our purchasing department, because they collect the booty and whatnot. That's their team name, that's what they voted for. So we had a pirate party because we hadn't had one single material shortage in all 4 years of operating. And we honored them with that, but we honored the families. So I had 70 pirates wake up in the morning. We went down the Boise River on pirate ships. Then we landed in the park and had a really big pirate party with all these families. And it was a beautiful thing. We do this annual, and we don't say no. We don't say, this summer, maybe not. Our New Year's kickoff event, now that's a really high-end event. You know, it's very special. You get all dolled up. I really expect you to get dolled up because I like to get dolled up. And we celebrate each other, and we get to know each other, and we have fun together outside of work. We also make a difference in our community. So part of having purpose in life isn't just what you do, it's how you do it and who you serve. We like to serve each other, we like to serve each other's families, but we also like to serve people we don't even know at all. So we have the Autovolunteers. It's a group of people that you sign up for, and whenever there's an activity going on in our community, and we try to stay, I'm not going to go clean dog kennels because we build housing. We're going to focus on the homeless, we're going to focus on housing, we're going to focus on maybe a rake up Boise type of things. Just focus on our community in that way, anything that has to do with homes. So the Autovolunteers is a group that really is passionate about also helping serve. We have a dedication to our workforce development. I spend, 6 hours a month at least on different tours, 2-hour tours, a couple times a month with students from the ages of 10 to 18 to showcase what we have going on here, to get the right people in the room. I ask the teachers, please send me your students' names. Please send me what exactly their interest is in. And then from there, I'm able to develop a program and get all the right people in the room so those children can have the greatest experience. Because the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. And I would say in the past 20 years, nobody has been focusing on workforce development for construction. They kind of dropped that off. They thought, we don't need that. Well, they were wrong. And so we have a primary focus on that. So this is a little quote, and I liked it. It's Jay-Z. Genius is that thing that we did when we didn't give up. Whenever there was all the naysayers, everybody at the beginning that said, you can't have not HR, because we don't have an HR department. There's nobody that has HR because our people take care of our people. We vetted you thoroughly on your interview process. We had hourly people in that interview, that second interview, that bought into being your friend and your ally. There's somebody with an open door all the time. All our windows are completely glass. It's a very transparent company. Our people take care of our people. So when they said, oh, you can't do a three-step interview process, that's not for manufacturing, we didn't give up. We were relentless in our approach and very committed to what we set out to do. My last slide is a story. And this is how I know it works, you guys. I'm so excited about this last slide and so excited about this story. So last summer at that solutionear shindig I shared, I was invited by this gal, Brandy. She said, come over, Merrick. And she's one of our machine operators, Scott's wife. And she had made me a gift. She had made Rick a gift. And the gift was this really cool tumbler, but it had all of our values on it. And, and she had styled it for me, and his was a little bit different. His was a bullet. It's kind of cool. He's a cowboy. And she sits me down, and she starts getting emotional. And she says, Merrick, this environment has changed our lives. So Scott came to us working from a lumber mill. He had been there for 15, 17 years. I can't exactly remember, so I don't want to get it wrong. And he was completely unhappy. He would go home angry at his kids. He would go home angry at her. They were nearing divorce. Their family was going to be separated forever. And she was very emotional about this. And she said, that's no more. He is so loved and respected where he's at. He feels valued. He knows what he's doing. He has a mission in his life. He is the man I married. And my family's going to be okay again because of the environment you guys have created. And man, I was like, and I'm still taken back on it. That's why I made this slide about it, because I really believe, I started to think, so if Scott's going home a little nicer to his wife, maybe he's also on the way driving home nicer to the bank teller, nicer to the gas station attendant, not giving somebody the bird at a red light, Maybe he's rippling out into society in a more positive manner. So my dream would be that we have 208 solutioneers that are making these ripples because now their life has maybe changed in some various form or fashion. They're nicer to their bank tellers, they're nicer to their children, they're nicer to their husbands, their wives, their moms, their dads, everybody. And we've rippled out into society this very positive light. I would like to ask you, what can you do to help other people ripple positivity? And through this positivity, we can grow a whole industry. It doesn't have to just be Autovol's factory. It doesn't have to just be a factory at all. That's all. Thank you.